Hey, what's going on, Who That Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. Thank you very much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast on championship weekend. They got some big NFC, AFC championship games taking place. As we all know in the Who That Nation, the Saints came one game short of reaching the NFC championship game. They will not be playing the NFC championship game. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers will be playing against the Green Bay Packers today around 3 o'clock. And then after that game, it will be the AFC championship game, the Buffalo Bills taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. But that's not what we're talking about here today, okay? We will be talking about the AFC and NFC championship game on the other podcast called the State of the Game podcast immediately following this podcast. But we're going to be talking about Matthew Stafford. That's right. Matthew Stafford, the longtime quarterback of the Detroit Lions, was picked number one overall out of Georgia back in 2009 by the Detroit Lions. And after 12 seasons and 48,000 yards, Matthew Stafford has decided that he wants to leave the Detroit Lions organization. And it seems like the organization is gladly obliging his request. And you know, when you have a quarterback like Matthew Stafford, teams that are looking for quarterbacks or teams that feel like they need to go in another direction with a quarterback, they always tend to have guys like Matthew Stafford on their radar. And the Saints are no different. The New Orleans Saints, as we all know, this is most likely Drew Brees' last season. To me, it should be his last season, but I digress. But you know, the question is, should the New Orleans Saints sign Matthew Stafford? For anybody that's been following the State of the Saints podcast, been rolling with the State of the Saints podcast, you already know that I think very highly of Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford is a guy that I have so much respect for because in some ways he kind of reminds me of Drew Brees. You know, going to a snake-bitten franchise, you know what I'm saying, going out there, giving his heart, giving his soul, no matter what the defense looked like, no matter what the running game looked like, no matter what the special teams look like, you can always count on number 9. Yeah, number 9, because Matthew Stafford is number 9 also. You can always count on number 9 going out there, handling his business, putting up yards, and always keeping teams in the game all the way to the tail end. And the only difference is that Drew Brees went to an organization that, number one, had a coach that complimented him. You know, a coach that was a visionary, a guy who can call plays and dial it up. With Matthew Stafford, the Detroit Lions organization has been an absolute train wreck ever since he's gotten there. It just seems like there's very little stability in that organization. It's very copycat in that organization. It doesn't seem like anybody has a vision or anything like that. But Matthew Stafford has been, you know, trucking along. He had some growing pains and some injuries earlier in his career. And it seemed like, you know, for a while, the Detroit Lions was making a bad decision by drafting him. But he later on, showed the entire NFL world that he was capable of carrying a team. Look, the only reason why people aren't talking about Matthew Stafford is very, very simple. It's because the Detroit Lions weren't very good when he was playing for them, okay? But Matthew Stafford has been up there when it comes to stats, when it comes to touchdown, the interception ratio. He has been atop the National Football League. The only difference is, like I said, you're playing for an organization that's not very good, so you're going to fly under the radar. Would I like for the New Orleans Saints to sign Matthew Stafford? Who That Nation, I'll go a little bit further. If the New Orleans Saints can get their hands on Matthew Stafford, I would say bye-bye to Taysom Hill, and I would say bye-bye to Jameis Winston. That's how much respect I have for this guy. This guy is 32 years old. He'll be 33 at the start of the season. He has a really big arm. He's extremely accurate. He normally averages about 66% of his passes throughout his career. He's always up there, you know, when it comes to the touchdowns. And, you know, this guy throws for, you know, a bunch of yards just like Drew Brees did. Like I said, they are very similar in some ways. I like Matthew Stafford a lot. I think he's better than Jameis Winston. I think he's leaps and bounds better than Taysom Hill. And I just feel like he would be the best fit. Number one, because I just feel like if you put him with an offensive-minded coach like Sean Payton, I think it could take the Saints to the next level. And let's make no mistake about it. Before all these people around here complaining, no, don't get them. Let me go ahead and talk about the hypocrisy of the Who Dat Nation. Yeah, I'm coming through with receipts. It's funny to me how we can just see the silver lining in the dark clouds, when it matters to us the most, when it benefits us. Let me go ahead and go backtrack a tad bit. When Jameis Winston was throwing a whole bunch of interceptions for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, everybody was talking about Jameis and laughing at him and cracking jokes and talking about 30 for 30, this and that. And I even had a show, before Jameis Winston even signed with the New Orleans Saints. And I asked the question, should the New Orleans Saints sign Jameis Winston? No. You see all them interceptions? No. Now, all of a sudden, the guy is on the roster. And now we see this silver lining. Oh, well, he does have a good upside, or, he does have a lot of talent, or, he does have a lot of ability. We can find positivity when it benefits us. But I'm telling you right now, and I'm saying this with my whole chest, if the New Orleans Saints had Matthew Stafford as their quarterback playing in a game last week, I guarantee that the New Orleans Saints would be playing today. Matthew Stafford would have led the Saints not only to the NFC Championship, but you can make an argument to say that the Saints probably would have been playing in the Super Bowl. This dude have a lot of talent. And for those that probably just watching ESPN or watching Detroit Lions games in bits and pieces and probably just taking a narrative that they probably heard somebody say, look, you're doing yourself a disservice. I've watched Matthew Stafford his entire career. And I can tell you right now, it doesn't get much better than this when it comes to heart, passion, ability, arm strength, all that stuff that we love, in a quarterback. Like this guy has it all. All right. So, look, no disrespect to Jameis Winston. If Jameis Winston is the best option out there and you can't get Matthew Stafford, look, roll with him. He's been in the system. It'll be 1 full year. It seems like Sean Payton likes him a lot. So roll with him. But I'm saying if you got an opportunity to get Matthew Stafford, which I feel like they can have a strong chance, especially since the new head coach of the Detroit Lions came from the New Orleans Saints, I think that, the Saints might be able to talk a little bit more, keep the conversation going a little bit longer than other teams. And maybe if the Saints are speaking relatively okay language, maybe the Detroit Lions will look the Saints way before they look at any other team because of, the relationship between Dan Campbell and Sean Payton. So you got that going for you. But I'm saying it with my whole chest, and I can care less when anybody thinks about this. This is just my opinion. Feel free to have your own. But Matthew Stafford is better than Jameis Winston, and he's better than Taysom Hill. We all are going off wishful thinking when it comes to Jameis Winston. Now, which I feel like he can turn a corner. Do I feel like he can throw 30 interceptions and stuff like that like he once did? No, not with a Sean Payton offense. I feel like he'll have more things going for him. I stand by that. Taysom Hill, I just think that what you see is what you get. You're going to get some good. You're going to get some bad. There's going to be 1 week where he looked like he balling out of control, and then the next week he's going to be all erratic and turning the ball over. Look, I feel like when it comes to consistency, if you want consistency, if you want a sure thing out of these 3 guys, I'm rolling with Matthew Stafford. And for all those people who talk about if Drew come back, look, Drew Brees isn't coming back, okay? And you know what I'm saying? Like, we just have to get that into our minds. Look, yeah, he didn't have a press conference yet, but we all know that Drew Brees is a stand-up guy. He's a guy that, you know what I'm saying, that's not very, selfish, when it comes to with the spotlight. I feel like the reason why he hasn't come out yet is because the season isn't fully over. He doesn't want to take the storylines away from the NFC and AFC championship and possibly the Super Bowl. After the season is all said and done, most likely we're going to be having a press conference for number 9. You can see the way Sean Payton is talking. You can see the way some of his teammates were responding in the press conference. A conversation was had behind the scenes, folks. So go ahead and get that through your mind and just focus on life outside of Drew Brees because it's going to happen. And even if it didn't, once again, this might sound controversial, but I'm calling it like I see it, okay? Look, if Drew Brees says that I want to play another season as a New Orleans Saints fan, I'm not bringing him back. I'm going to say that again. If Drew Brees wants to play another season, I'm not bringing him back. Okay? Does he deserve to retire on his own accord? Absolutely. But you cannot be around here playing around with your future because, a quarterback still feel like he has something left in the tank. And for all those that are like, man, TJ, man, you ain't no real Drew Brees fan. I knew it all along, TJ. You're not a real Drew Brees fan. Afford me this. Do you think that the fans in San Francisco back in the late 80s, early 90s wanted to see Joe Montana lead San Francisco for Steve Young? Do you think that they wanted to see their beloved quarterback who won 4 Super Bowls leave for a quarterback that had a lot of potential but hasn't proved anything yet? Do you think they wanted to see that? Do you think that the Indianapolis Colts fans wanted to see Peyton Manning leave and go to the Denver Broncos for the last couple of years of his career? Absolutely not. Do you think that the New England Patriots, the fan base, wanted to see number 12 Tom Brady in a Tampa Bay Buccaneers uniform going in an NFC Championship game? I'm pretty sure they're looking at this right now, and they're probably saying to themselves, man, we could have been in the AFC Championship game going up against the Kansas City Chiefs. Do you think that they wanted to see that? So let me ask you this, Who Dat Nation, and for all those people that get mad every time somebody say anything about Drew Brees, what makes Drew Brees any different from any one of those celebrated quarterbacks that have brought legitimacy to their organizations? Please, somebody explain that to me. The only thing is we want to hold on to everything that resembles success in New Orleans, and we need to go ahead and relinquish that mind frame. We need to let it go. We need to stop holding on to the past and all these different guys that we want to dig in the crates. Look, this is a production business. This isn't a nostalgic business. This is a production business. If you're not being productive, or you can find somebody that is more productive than what you actually have, then you move on from it. And I love Drew Brees, but that's just the reality, man. That's just the reality. Like the guy played with a torn rotator cuff. The guy played with 11 fractured ribs. You know what I'm saying? He had so many other things going on with him. And he went out there and he battled and he fought and he gave it all he can. And we appreciate that in the Who Dat Nation. But at the same time, you have to come to yourself and say, man, maybe I am doing more harm than good to my team by being limited and for them to have to compensate for my limitations. I'm just being real, man. Like, there's somebody out there that might just think that trick play by Jameis Winston was absolute genius. But you need to ask yourself, folks, why is it that you have to go out here and bring in a young quarterback to run that play when you have a solid Hall of Fame quarterback in Drew Brees, that can run that same play? It's because of the arm strength. It's because of the ability. It's because of the limitations of him not being able to get the ball down the field. And some of you probably, oh, man, that's a good play. Why do you think they got to bring Taysom out there for them to throw the ball deep down the field? And you know what I'm saying? Honestly, you're making the coaching staff work a little bit harder because they have to compensate for your limitations. And let me tell you something, Who Dat Nation. If another player at another skill position has limitations, you can kind of disguise it, right? If you have an offensive lineman that can't really block as well, he's solid, but not, like borderline elite, you can always put a tight end right next to him to try to help out and chip the defender, from getting to the pass rush. If you have a wide receiver and he's really, really fast, you can compensate for the fact that he can't run little short slant routes to get off the line of scrimmage when he's getting jammed. You can easily put somebody else in that position, or you can kind of move him around to give him a different mismatch. When you have a quarterback that is limited it sets your whole team back. It sets it back. You know what I'm saying? When it's certain things that he can't do. So for all those people out there that's, man, I knew it, bro. I knew it, man. Look, y'all so fair weather with Drew Brees. Look, bump all that, man. You can have an appreciation for Drew Brees, but I'm not sitting up here with rose-colored glasses on like some of y'all who just refuse to see what's right there in your face. Because I don't know if you're sitting in your house alone and you think somebody looking at you, who gives a damn? You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to call it for what it is. Oh, I can't talk about Drew Brees. People going to think I'm a fake fan. I don't want to talk about it. I mean, I can kind of see that he can't throw down the field, but I ain't going to say nothing. I'm going to defend my quarterback to the death. Yeah, keep on doing that. And watch these postseason exits year after year. Call it for what it is with that nation. The Saints had a lot of things going for them this season. The Saints had a better running game than they didn't had in previous years. They had a better defense than they had in previous years. We all know that the Saints couldn't stop no passes deep. I mean, this was probably one of the most solid defenses they've had. There's really no excuse why we're talking about the Saints in past tense when it comes to this season and not talking about them in the present tense when it comes to them playing the NFC Championship game. You have to look no further. Now, I know some people wanted me to talk a little bit about Drew Brees and should he have went out there and played? Should he have sat on a bench and, with dealing with all of these issues? Okay, I feel like that's another story for another day. All right, I will talk about that on a later date. But all I'm saying is if Drew Brees decides to come back, I'm not bringing him back to New Orleans. I love Drew Brees, but enough is enough. It is time to move on. It is time for you to move on. And then you have to look at it this way. How upsetting. Think about this, folks. How upsetting would it be if the Saints were to lose somebody like Jameis Winston, right? Let's say if Drew Brees decides to come back. How upsetting would it be if Jameis Winston goes to a team that complements his skills? Let's just say he does go to somebody like the 49ers and he works with Kyle Shanahan and he lights up the NFL, right? He lights it up. He has a solid season. He's probably borderline MVP-ish type performance or whatever like that. How ticked off would you be that the New Orleans Saints sacrificed an opportunity to possibly have Drew Brees' successor because they couldn't afford to keep him because they allowed Drew Brees to come back one more year? How many years would you think you'll be talking about that situation? Like I said, this is a production league. This is a league that is built on results, not what you did last week, not what you did 2 years ago, not what you did 10 years ago. This is not about nostalgia. This isn't about this undying, this isn't like this undying debt. You know what I'm saying, to Drew Brees. Like, I owe him because he brought the city so much joy and happiness. He did. But Drew Brees only can play for so long. What's going to happen then? What's going to happen 5-10 years from now when Drew Brees is no longer playing the National Football League? I mean, you got to think about that stuff, man. You got to think about it. You got to be realistic. But some of you, I'm talking about this right now. And you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to show you all this. And somebody right now is probably sitting at their screen or looking on their phone right now, scowled face, because the only thing they hear is blah, 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 blah. Get rid of Drew Brees. Blah, 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 blah. Need to retire. Blah, 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 blah. Like that's all they hear. But be my guest. For all those people that can't understand fully the argument that I am trying to present to you, all I got to say is you have my sympathy because you need to remove it. I am a Saints fan. I have been a Saints fan before Drew Brees got here. I've been a Saints fan since Drew Brees has gotten here, and I'm going to be a Saints fan after Drew Brees get here. There are so many other Saints players that have come and gone, but I've still been a Saints fan. And if your fandom is attached to Drew Brees, then you're not really a Saints fan. I'm just being serious, because Drew Brees is a huge part of what the Saints have done over the years, but he isn't, You know what I'm saying? He isn't the is all and be all of this organization to a point where everything needs to stop or we have to stop the progress of this organization because he's here. You got to look out for the organization, man. You have got to look out for the organization. This is for the betterment of the organization. To move on, to find yourself another solid quarterback. Don't y'all understand that this is embarrassing, man? Like, seriously, don't y'all understand it's embarrassing? You know, it's time out for the BS. Don't y'all understand it's embarrassing that the Saints have had this much success and have absolutely really nothing to show for it, for the exception of a couple division title T-shirts? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's embarrassing, man. 49 victories. 49 victories, man. Why do y'all think, like, if you don't think that this is weird, look around the New Orleans Saints organization right now. If you don't think that people don't, you know what I'm saying, look at this like, man, the Saints got 49 victories. Look around the organization and look and see how teams are taking away the coaching staffs and the assistant GMs and all that other stuff. The Saints are a successful franchise. And for you to not step foot on Super Bowl soil in 4 years, that is a disappointment. Look, I don't care how many Instagram posts people write. Man, this was a solid season. Didn't end the way that we wanted, but that we got so much stuff we can build on. Look, man, forget all this politically correct stuff. This is sad. It is. For 4 years, you had what it takes to be a championship franchise. And for you to have absolutely nothing to show for it except for some T-shirts that say you're division champions, that's pretty sad. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, satisfied with division championships, the Buffalo Bills. Like, I'm serious, man. The Buffalo Bills are playing in the AFC Championship game today. But if the Buffalo Bills would have just won a division, then won one playoff game and lost to Baltimore last week, all their fans would have been excited about the future. The Cleveland Browns, those are the type of people that are excited about double-digit wins and division titles because they have been at the mercy of some of these elite teams over the years. But what happens when you are the elite team? What happens when you are the standard and you don't get the job done? I don't know about y'all, but I'm tired, man. I'm tired of this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm tired of glass half empty, glass half full type mind frame, especially when the glass should be overflowing with success. Time to move on, man. Time to move on. Go ahead and answer some of your questions. Universal Love says, I miss not seeing the Saints today. Yeah, me too. You know, and it's sad that we're not seeing them. It's sad we're not seeing them, man, because they had all the tools and all the talent to do it. I'm a Saints fan too. You speaking facts, TJ. Look, man, I'm just calling it like it is. I'm pretty sure somebody's going to have a difference of opinion than I do. But at this point, I can care less. I can care less, man. Like, I'm not sitting up here having no quiz show like this, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm, you know, like I'm Chuck Woolery or something like that, or, you know what I'm saying, a Steve Harvey. Like, look, check this out, man. If you want to sit up there and be in denial and be delusional and pretend like you don't see what you see, then fine. If you can't understand that people can't, you know what I'm saying, decipher and separate the fact of a love for a person, but being realistic about a person, then shame on you. If you feel like you have to keep your mouth shut and zip tight, and if you say anything about a player, and you know what I'm saying, if you say something about them, oh, that just means you don't like them, then I feel sorry for you. I really feel sorry for you. That's not very intelligent to do. It's not. You know, like, don't leave me out there. Don't have me walking around with tissue paper on my damn foot. Let me know. You know what I'm saying? Don't have me out here with a booger in my nose. You know what I'm saying? Don't have me out here shirt tail disheveled or me showing my drawers and don't know it. Please let me know. Don't be like, oh, man, you know, I would tell him that his drawers showing. I would tell him that booger in his nose. But nah, bro, let me know about the booger, the draws, let me know. Don't have me out here half-stepping. It's reality, man. And for those that want to sit up here and pretend and dissect, oh man, well, what offensive line wasn't blocking Tavius Murray, like whatever, dude. Why is it? Man, I'm kind of ticked off, man. I just don't understand this. How is it that I can do a show? Like, let's just say, for example, let's just say if I just did a show, didn't talk about nothing that involved Drew Brees on last week, and I just read Jared Cook, the riot act. If I was just going in on Jared Cook, man, Jared Cook, you suck. Jared Cook, what they doing, man? They shouldn't have signed this clown. He old, he washed. People will be clapping for me. But throw a dash of Drew Brees up in that thing. Throw a dash of Drew Brees. Man, why you with Jared Cook? I mean, it was Jared Cook. Like, come on, man. Like, I can read every other Saints player to riot act and talk about them and call them out. I get the biggest amen corner that you'll ever see in any Baptist church. But when you start talking about Drew Brees, oh boy, the deflectors and the detractors and the backsteppers and the moonwalkers come out in full force. But you know what? Y'all can come out full force all you want to. That's not going to stop me from calling it for what it is. You may be blind, but there's a damn doctor's office. There's a damn eye doctor on damn near every corner. Okay? Every Walmart you go to, when you going out there getting them eggs, them grits, them smoked sausage, why don't you just go ahead and stop at that booth right in front of the store and walk into the eye doctor and say, well, something is wrong with my eyes, man. I think I need to get my eyes checked because I just feel like it's everybody else's fault but Drew. Please do. Please do. Be my guest. All right. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you get the eggs and the grits and the smoked sausages. But nevertheless, go ahead and stop and make yourself an eye doctor appointment because clearly you blind as hell. The fans would be fine with that. They definitely would. You bring Drew Brees out on a walker, you know what I'm saying, for a 7-step drop, and they just happy, and they still would be blaming. It was I mean, if the who line was blocking for, you know. Oh man, like I said, I love Drew Brees, man, but the way that people just make it seem like he beyond reproach is just hilarious. It's hilarious, man. It is hilarious. Like, you gotta love him, man. Like, I love Drew for what he has done. But come on, man. The time has come. The time has come, man. We've seen this. Like, great quarterbacks, all-time great quarterbacks have left organizations and went other places. You know? I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. Dada Saints #1 says, TJ, what do you think it takes to get Matthew out of Detroit? Well, I'm assuming like a 3rd round pick. You know what I'm saying? Like probably 2/3, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Maybe something you can contribute in this year's draft. I ain't saying no 1st round pick. I feel like he worth like a 3rd. He probably worth a 3rd this year, maybe a 2nd or a 3rd next year. That's the only thing I'm throwing out there. I'm not giving nobody no 1st round pick for no 33-year-old Matthew Stafford. That's how I roll. Sounds like some good food, TJ. Saints, says Elizabeth. It's hard being a Saints fan when they lost. It hurts. I was sick all night. Staring at the walls has messed up my whole night. I couldn't sleep right. This defense was great. It hurts your soul. John, you're absolutely right. It definitely does hurt your soul. But at this point, as a Saints fan and what you have endured over the last 3 to 4 years, how in the hell why should you even be surprised? I'm serious, man. Like, there's 3 things for certain: debt, taxes, and the Saints laying an egg in the playoffs at this point. You know, anything else the Saints would do would be a step up. Like, I've been 2018, man, I've been stopped shedding the tears for the team. You know what I'm saying? Am I upset that they lost? Yeah. Have I really been watching sports since they lost? Not really. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, I had to decompress. And also, man, look, there's a lot of people who bear with me, you know what I'm saying, when I do these shows. So got to give attention to them. You know what I'm saying? So I just took a little time off in order to focus on that. But of course it hurts. But at the same time, man, that's so Saints at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like them losing and playing some of their worst football in times like that. You know, it just makes you wonder, like, are they playing the way that they played during the season and other teams have stepped their game up? Or maybe the fact that they don't have an extra gear. I just don't know. You know, I don't know if I'm questioning, do they have an extra gear? You know, I feel like they're a good team. And maybe if these games, like the playoffs, didn't really mean too much, or maybe you can play next week, maybe they'll play better. But I don't know, man. It just seems like they don't have an extra gear, or they playing at the same type of speed as a regular season. I don't know what's going on, but they got to get some things fixed, man. Like, and I just think that it starts with the quarterback. And I just feel like with Matthew Stafford, like I said, man, if the Saints had Matthew Stafford as their quarterback last week, the Saints would still be playing. Not only would the Saints still be playing, but the Saints would have beaten the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to sleep. Like, seriously. They would have beat them to sleep. That game wouldn't even been close. The Saints probably would have put a 40 on them boys. Hey, TJ, I just discovered you, bro. But I binged your show all day yesterday. Much love, bro. Go Bucks, though. Yeah, Big Panther, man. Look, good luck to y'all today. Look, I ain't hating on nobody, man. I understand how it feels when your team, you know, hasn't been successful and you're on the threshold of making a championship game. Look, I understand that. I get it. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, man. I just feel like I would be hard pressed to not say that the Saints shouldn't be in that position. I really do feel that way, man. And I'm not even saying that as a homer. Like, the Saints were better than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Like, I'm not, look, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they did all the things right in order for them to win. You know what I'm saying? They you know what I'm saying? They stepped up. They capitalized off the Saints' mistakes, and that's all you asked to do. But my goodness, man, my goodness. Mighty Mouse, thank you very much for the $20. Says, what I don't understand, we go 12-4 with barely any starters. But when we were just missing two people in Murray and Hill, we can't win a playoff game. Barely had Thomas all year, and we were successful. Yeah, that's why I said, man, you know, it's like everybody else stepped their game up. It's like everybody gets up here, and the Saints are still about right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, even like from the stupid play calling and stuff in the postseason. Like, what is you doing, man? All these stupid trick plays that don't make any sense. But I will say this, man. Taysom is like, as much crap as we give him as a quarterback, as a player, Taysom is one of the most important players the Saints have. And I think we forget sometimes how important that guy was in that second game versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and how strong he was running and stuff like that. See, I feel like with Latavius, it really wasn't that big of a deal. You had somebody like Ty Montgomery go out there and give you a couple extra yards, just like Latavius can. But when you have Taysom, who, if you don't know if he's going to run, if he's going to throw, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know how to approach this guy. I feel like when you know that you're just going up against Drew, you know that he's not going to run. And all he's going to do is try to stand in a pocket and try to deliver the ball on time. You know, you don't have like the improbability, you know, of a Taysom. You don't have to worry about the improbability of a James, right? You know what I'm saying? It makes things more simplistic. So I do feel like him not being in the game was huge for the Saints. Not so much with Latavius. You know, I just think that people don't understand how important that guy is to this team from what he does as a Swiss Army knife type player. Not as a quarterback, but as a Swiss Army knife. James Jones says, good morning, TJ. I get your point. Would you have let Winston start their game? Look, if I would have known what I know now about Drew Brees, yeah, I probably would have. I probably would have let him start. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then on top of that, push come to shove, he goes out there, he's not playing well. I mean, you still have Taysom out there, you know what I'm saying, who has had some starts. And he has some experience at the quarterback position throughout the season. But, yeah, I probably would have let Jameis start in this game. I just feel like, I don't know, man. I want to save this topic for another day. I just feel like a lot of the things that the New Orleans Saints did, you know what I'm saying, I just kind of question. It also just had me looking sideways at some of the training staff and how I just feel like they kind of guilt tripped some guys into playing like Michael Thomas, right? Like Mike was out there, but it was clear that Michael Thomas wasn't healthy, and the fact that this guy got to get 2 surgeries on his ankle, you know what I'm saying? The fact that, they up here talking about, man, we need you. Well, I beg to differ. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like the New Orleans Saints couldn't go out there and win a football game without Michael Thomas. I mean, they won at least about 7 without him playing. So I really just don't understand why you guilt tripping this guy into playing. I just don't understand it, man. But look, if that's how they want to go down, they want to go down with the ship. If you're looking at Drew and all those injuries that he sustained and you still feel like he has what it takes to win and he can lead your team to success, fine. But at the same time, man, I just feel like that's a very selfish way of doing it. Me personally, I really just feel like Drew wasn't ready to come back. I just think that Drew is such a competitor. He looked at the schedule and he seen that he had opportunity to go up against Patrick Mahomes. And I don't know if that was in the best interest of the team or was just in the best interest of Drew. I'm just being serious, man. Like, I feel like if the Saints, after that Eagles game, if the Saints were taking on Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings, I don't think you would have seen Drew in that game. I think it had a lot to do with the fact that Drew wanted to go up against Patrick Mahomes, and he realized at that particular time that was going to be the last time he ever get an opportunity to go up against Patrick Mahomes. And, I don't even think that was beneficial to the Saints. I don't think that he looked at it was like, oh, like they need me out there, because let's just be serious, man. The Kansas City Chiefs were a really good football team. And regardless if Drew was playing, Taysom was playing, Jameis was playing, most likely the Saints would have had a strong possibility of losing that game. So I don't know if that was just a smart decision on the behalf of the coaching staff, because he was not ready. He wasn't ready. And anybody saying that he was ready, it just, delusional. That's the word of the day, delusional. That guy wasn't ready to play against the Kansas City Chiefs. Clarence, thank you very much for the $10. Says, keep on preaching, brother. I'm with you 1,000%. It's time to move on from Drew. We still have a lot of talent on this team to continue to move forward towards the Super Bowl. Clarence, thank you very much, brother, for the $10. And I agree, man. It's just, I'm not sitting around here, just holding my franchise back, or, not looking at the future, because I still want to live in the past and still want to hold on to some familiar success, that I'm comfortable with. You know what I'm saying? Like, right now, we're Linus with the blanket, okay? That's what we are as Saints fans. Some of us are. We're Linus with the blanket, right? Everybody, whoever's seen the Peanuts cartoon, Charlie Brown's best friend was Linus. And Linus, I guess like Charlie Brown, Linus, they're maybe like about 9 or 10 years old. And Linus is still walking around there with a blanket, sucking his thumb. You know what I'm saying? Like, Linus don't need the blanket, but I guess it just gives him comfort or whatever like that. So, I just don't get it. But it just looks weird. You know what I'm saying? You're out in the pumpkin patch with a blanket. You know what I'm saying? You're out at the school recital with a blanket. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Like, everybody around here is still talking about, man, let's one more year. Like, you're Linus with the blanket. And the thing about it is, Linus don't need the blanket. You know what I'm saying? It just gives him comfort. Some of us just want Drew because it reminds us of success. And some of us have been Saints fans for so long that life outside of Drew Brees we're afraid of, because life outside of Drew Brees didn't give us the results that we were looking for. We were getting laughed at. We were getting embarrassed. People were talking about we suck. We didn't have snappy comebacks. But when it comes to Drew Brees, I can go and I can talk to any organization, any team, and I can talk smack to him and say, look at my team. Well, look, I believe in his coaching staff. I believe in his organization. I'm a Saints fan through and through. And I'm not trying to handicap an organization because because of my undying love for somebody. If you love something, let it go. Like that's just what it is. If you love something, you shouldn't want to see Drew Brees playing like that. You shouldn't want to see Drew Brees being a mere shell of himself. You shouldn't want to see Drew Brees, like 1 week he lighted up. I told y'all, then the next week, Like, I don't want to see that. I mean, Drew Brees is about consistency. Drew Brees is about timing. Drew Brees is about accuracy. Drew Brees is about greatness. And anything outside of that, I just feel like, we're doing Drew Brees a disservice if we want to keep on parading him out there on the field. Not fair. Don't like it. Not a fan of it. And anybody that's a real true Saints fan in their heart, you shouldn't want to see it too. You shouldn't want to see that, man. Like, I don't want to see anything like that. I don't want to see the last memories of Drew Brees being, like having these type of conversations. It's sad. And I'm not a fan of it. I'm just not. Sean Payton is delusional. No, Toast. Sean Payton is definitely not delusional. Sean Payton is doing things the right way, Toast. Look, the best way to get on your player's good side is to show that you are loyal to them, right? For those that didn't check out the Jim Trotter, Steve Weiss podcast, right? Like the hustle. I want to say, the hustle, and I don't think it's called Hustle and Flow, but I can't think of the name of the title, but somebody in the chat give it to me. But he was on their podcast and he was talking a little bit about Taysom Hill, and he talked about how Taysom Hill, before he signed his contract, he told Taysom Hill that if the opportunity presented itself, that he was going to give him an opportunity to go out there and start at quarterback. So when Drew went down, Taysom came into the game. That was Sean Payton being loyal, and being a man of his word, and saying to Taysom, look, I told you this is what I'm going to do. If anything, if we're going to get mad at Sean Payton for anything, we should be mad at him for being loyal, for him having a word. That, that's what Hustle and Flow. Okay, it was Huddle and Flow. Yeah, Huddle and Flow. Thank you very much. The Huddle and Flow podcast. Check it out. I don't know why I was just thinking about Hustle and Flow, but Huddle and Flow, man. Shouts out to Steve Weiss. I know he watches the State of the Saints podcast, and some of y'all know he's been on here before. But yeah, man, if you're gonna get mad at Sean Payton, be mad at him because he's loyal. Be mad at him because, if he's a man of his word. And that's what you need. And that's why players love this guy so much, because he's a straight shooter. He gives guys opportunities. So I'm not mad at Sean for that. For all those people mad at Sean for putting Taysom in over Jameis, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, I just feel like when Sean did the right thing, Sean did right by Taysom. And that's the reason why Taysom was in the game. And that's how you get guys to play for you. That's how you get guys to basically run through a wall for you. TJ, do you see Taysom on a team after his contract is up next year? Yep, I do. But not in a quarterback role. And if Taysom is smart, he'll want to stay with the New Orleans Saints for as long as possible, because I'm going to just be 100% real with you, man. If Taysom goes to another team, he's not going to get opportunities like this. He not. Unless he goes somewhere like the 49ers or a team, when you have an offensive, innovative coach. If I was him, I want to stay. Because if he goes out there and say, you know what, I'm a quarterback and I want to play quarterback, then he is going to be on somebody's sidelines with a clipboard. At least with Sean Payton and Sean Payton's offense, he gets an opportunity to line up at tight end. He gets an opportunity to throw the football. He gets an opportunity to run the football and be a key component to what the Saints do. You know, if you go out there and you leave an organization and you go somewhere else and you're saying, okay, I'm a quarterback. If you want to be Tim Tebow and say, man, you can't line me up at linebacker, or you can't line me up at tight end, or you can't line me up at fullback, then you know what you do? You end up working for ESPN and being in the developmental league for the New York Mets. You know what I'm saying? That's what you end up doing. So if I was smart, or if he was smart, Taysom will end up continuing his career with the New Orleans Saints. I don't think Taysom's career can get any better than what it is right now. Seriously, I don't. Like, it's not like he's going to leave and go to another team and be a league MVP. I just don't see that. I mean, he could prove me wrong, but all I'm saying is this is the best spot for Taysom. At least, like I said, if you're not playing quarterback full time, you still can go out there, throw the football around. You can still run around the yard. You still can go out there, catch the football. I mean, look, you still out there balling. And you know what I'm saying? You still getting opportunities. And if you're a football player, you just want to play, right? You want to play if you're a football player. So you're not going to get those opportunities if you say, oh, I'm a league so I can get opportunity to be a quarterback. And let's just say you get beat out in training camp. Now you just a guy with an earpiece and a clipboard, and they might bring you out there for 1 or 2 plays a game. But with the Saints, I mean, Taysom is on the field quite a bit. So why would you want to leave something like that? You mean like Taysom Hill-Jameis has not fumbled with the Saints? Look, I mean, he hasn't really had an opportunity to be honest with you. You know, I mean, he only been in there for a little bit of mop-up duty with the 49ers. So, TJ, players value winning over loyalty, though. It was extremely delusional to think a broken Breeze would beat Brady, Rodgers, and Mahomes. TJ, players value winning over loyalty, though. Robert, that's a good point. But let me just go ahead and say this. They value winning over loyalty depending on who it is, right? You know what I'm saying? And it also depends on who the person actually is and how loyal that person has been or been a contributor to winning, right? Let's just look at it like this. Let's just say Tom Brady, right? Let's just say if Tom Brady out there playing hurt, right? And you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't think that those players would have this undying loyalty for what Tom Brady has done throughout his career or what he has done for the organization? I'm talking about if he was in New England. Of course they would. You know what I'm saying? So if he decides, hey, guys, I'm going to go out here and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give it a shot. You know what guys are going to say? They're going to be like, hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? Let's go out here and do it. They're going to step their game up, right? But if it's somebody like Dwayne Haskins or something like that, be like, man, go sit your ass down. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? You ain't done nothing. You ain't got enough skins on the wall for me to want to run through a wall for you, okay? You haven't done anything yet. It depends on a player, okay? That's when I feel like based on a player, loyalty is a little bit more than winning. When it comes to like certain players that haven't proved anything, then winning is over loyalty. But when a person has been so loyal and dedicated and a key contributor to the success of a team, then I feel like guys will take that into account and they'll be okay with it. But if a guy hasn't done anything, then I feel like, yeah, I feel like that kind of applies. But I just feel like with Drew, because of who Drew is and what Drew has done, guys respect the hell out of it. And I think that's the reason why he can get away with that. But some players can't. Some players cannot. We talking about loyalty. Breeze is like the only player remaining from the Super Bowl team. Where was the loyalty for the other 51 guys that won us a trophy? Winning is greater than loyalty. Well, it's different because the quarterback is the most important position on the field, Robert. It's not like we talking about, I don't know, Anthony Hargrove or something like that. Like, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're talking about somebody like that or I don't know, even Jonathan Goodwin, you know what I'm saying? Or Jemiah Bushrod. Like, this is the quarterback position. The quarterback is the most important position on the field. You don't have yourself a quarterback, Your franchise is set back for years. Don't believe me? Ask the Buffalo Bills. Finally got their quarterback. Don't believe me? Ask the Miami Dolphins, who believe that they have their quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so important. Like, it's not one of those positions where you can just plug and play, and then all of a sudden you just get this, this unlimited production, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can kind of get away if you have a guy that's an average guard or an average tackle or even an average linebacker. But when you have an average quarterback or below average quarterback, my goodness, you ain't winning a damn thing. So it's about loyalty. It's about, hey. Say hey, Becky. Yeah, it's about loyalty, man. It's about doing, you know what I'm saying, doing the little things, you know what I'm saying? But you got to have yourself a quarterback. That's the way I feel about it. So, loyalty, you know what I'm saying, like, is important. You know what I'm saying? But you got to be loyal to a quarterback because quarterback is the key contributor to you actually winning football games. Mike says, we are my boy, but with Drew retiring, and if we reconstruct some contracts, it could happen. Bro, we've been in this several times. Yeah, look, I'm not even upset. I'm not even upset about the contract situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, the Saints always find ways. The Saints always find ways to get what they need to get. I had from another podcast that we are 100 million over the cap. Yeah, because they don't know what the cap number is going to be. Pretty sure it's going to go down because of what's going on with COVID. So, yeah. Let's see. Pac-Man too cute. They say thank you. Say thank you. All right. Mike says we can't trade for Matthew. He's a free agent. I mean, I don't know. No, I don't think so. I think they can trade for him. He still has maybe 2 years on his deal. If a team gets him, they'll have to pay him $20 million the first year, 23 the second year. So yeah. It would have to come through a trade. TJ, do you think Sean will actually go for Stafford? Yeah, I do. I do. I think Sean Payton likes Matthew Stafford. I think he likes him a lot. I think, like I said, in some ways he reminds me of Drew Brees. He reminds me of Drew a lot. So, I just think that he would love to have him. But it all depends on how much love he has for Jameis. And when he talks about Jameis, he talks about Jameis in such a revering light. You know what I'm saying? Like, he talks about, like, oh, man, you know what I'm saying? This guy, is going to be the future of this team. So, yeah. Personally, Saints should trade for Mike Evans. He would do good as a quarterback. Nah. That guy, nah. TJ, by the way, your son could take over your co-host job eventually. Yeah, man, might end up doing that one day, or he might end up playing for the Saints, never know. Whatever he does, whatever he does, man, I know I'm going to be proud of him, whatever he decides to do. So why we always recycling washed up QBs? Recycling washed up QBs. I just think that it's just the way Sean Payton does. I just think that Sean Payton likes guys that understand what's going on. I think that he has more love for a veteran quarterback than he does for a young quarterback. I don't think Sean really wants to take the time to develop a quarterback. And I just feel like if he does, I think that he wants the quarterback to be as low maintenance as possible. Like, that's why I feel like he wanted Patrick Mahomes so bad. I mean, Patrick Mahomes has so much arm talent and he was just so good at the position. It was pretty much low maintenance. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can just kind of just do this and do that. But when you look at somebody like Garrett Grayson back in the day, them drafted him in the third round, I just feel like Sean was so quick to wash his hands with him. I just feel like it had a lot to do with the fact that he needed more developing. So I really don't know. You want to get down now? All right. All right. All right. Bye-bye, buddy. All right. Oh, okay. You still want to get... Just don't unplug that thing. We cool. Peyton will never run the ball if he gets Stafford. Say don't unplug nothing. He behind the screen. So you want to get back up here again? Okay. All right. You still want to be on the show. You just want to take a walk. All right. We about to finish up in a minute. All right. In the future, TJ, if you want to have a long conversation on my opinion on the NFL, let me know. All right. And I'll let you know, Ramsey. No doubt about it. We're going to take a few more and then we're going to get up out of here. All right. So Taysom needs more development all season. He holds on to the ball too long. Yeah, like I guess that comes with time, but look, you're about to be 31 years old. So how much time do you actually have? How much time? Dude ducks all my comments. Man. Anyway. He liked the established quarterbacks, Breeze, Bridgewater, from what I see. Yeah, like I said, I just think Matthew Stafford is better than – I think he's better than Jameis. I think he's better than Taysom. I think he's better than Teddy. And I just think that this guy, if he had a stable organization, guys that actually cared about winning and, brought like a winning culture to the organization, to Detroit, I think a lot of people would be talking about this guy like you talk about Aaron Rodgers, or you talk about Drew Brees, or you talk about some of these other good quarterbacks. I mean, the guy has been putting up numbers, and he has been helping his team, with late game heroics for years. It's just the fact that they haven't been good, so nobody really talk about it. And, out of sight, out of mind. If you don't, if you're not winning. Saints low-key not looking good for next year. Well, I mean, I disagree with that. I just feel like the only thing that people can say is Drew Brees isn't coming back. If Drew Brees comes back, then would you be saying that? I mean, it's about the draft. It's about the draft. It's about, getting players ready. I think that's just what it's about. So I think they'll be okay. I think the Saints will put a good product on the field. I think they'll be okay. TJ not saying it'll happen because of Sean's preferences, but what if we take a shot on Mac Jones? Well, if they was to take a shot on Mac Jones, that would shock the heck out of me. I just know Sean Payton, and from what I've seen, and I just know that he rather have a scrappy, promising quarterback that's a veteran over a young guy that he has to develop. Even though I just feel like it would be much better to get a young quarterback because they'll save a lot of money, but it's about getting the right quarterback. Man, you put Matthew on this team, we will win 2 chips at most. I definitely feel like like I said earlier, I feel like if he played last week, if he would have played last week, if we had him at quarterback, we definitely would have been playing this week. I got a lot of respect for that guy. I really do. I'm not even going to lie about that. Everybody, if you've been following this show, man, you know how much I like Matthew Stafford and my thoughts on him. Give us 2 number draft picks. Let me see. Yeah, I said like a 3rd round, Detroit, 1990. I feel if we give them like a 3rd round pick this year, maybe a 2nd or a 3rd next year, I think you can get him. That's what I would trade. I think that would be good. The reason I say a 3rd rounder is because of his age. If he was probably like around Jameis's age, I would say a 2nd round pick this year and next year. But you got to take his age into account, and you got to take into account his injury history as well. So, and also you got to put like some type of clause in there, like if he gets hurt, like for, I don't know, if he gets hurt within the first 8 weeks of the season or something like that, like you get like some type of, like some type of draft pick back, something of that nature. That's what I feel about it. But I mean, he definitely worth the 3rd round pick. Like, I love Matthew Stafford. Like, and I'm pretty sure the Detroit Lions fans like Matthew Stafford, man. Like, I don't understand what people that are seeing. I really don't. Like, go watch some Matthew Stafford highlights and go watch how this guy is just incredible, man. And you would think, like, Saints fans, we have gotten opportunities to watch Matthew Stafford go up against the Saints. We've seen this guy, and we've seen how the Saints jump up into like a big lead, and then all of a sudden, like, here come Matthew Stafford with the late game heroics, making it interesting towards the end. I'll never forget that game. I want to say it was 2017, because I think it was like week 1 or something like that. And I think it was like, I think this was like when the 2017 class was in. And the Saints like jumped out to this big lead. And in like the second half, I mean, Matthew Stafford was lighting that thing up. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, man, that guy's good, man. I like him a lot. I just feel like he'll be what the Saints missing. Like, all the issues that we talk about the Saints needing, right? You know what I'm saying? All the issues that the Saints been lacking. You know what I'm saying? Like deep ball ability. You know what I'm saying? Getting the ball where it needs to be. Improving. He can do all those things. And then on top of that, if you want to draft somebody like a Mac Jones, you don't have to worry about rushing him out there, right? You know what I'm saying? You don't know how long Matthew Stafford is going to be with with the organization. If he's 33, you don't know how long he's going to play. So you don't have to rush Mac Jones on the field. You can, have him out there for a couple of years, waiting in the wings, getting better, developing as a decent quarterback. There you have it. At least you have somebody, like that's almost like that bridge player, right? You know what I'm saying? The guy that's not exactly the franchise, but almost like the guy that's the bridge to lead you to the next generation of quarterback. I think that's what you have right there. Clarence, thank you very much for the $5. I appreciate that, man. Tall says, no, you're right. Matthew can't play, bro. Just been with a garbage organization. That's the thing too, man. It's about the organization. It's about the coaching. It's about the culture. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's about all that. Like, think about this, man. Think about Detroit. No disrespect to, the Detroit Lions fans that are checking out the state of the Saints today, but when you have all-time great running back like Barry Sanders, who decides to retire then to come back to your organization, when you have an all-time great wide receiver in Megatron, Calvin Johnson, who rather retire to come back to your organization, like, come on, man. Like, what are we doing here? You know what I'm saying? There's an issue with the Detroit Lions organization. There's a problem. There's a problem, man. First off, you got to find your own identity. You got to find it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to find your own identity. Detroit tried to beat New England, right? You go out there, you get Matt Patricia. Matt Patricia wants to bring the Patriot way to Detroit. He wants to get all those old New England Patriot players, and he wants to beat Bill Belichick. Well, that's your first mistake right there. You shouldn't want to be like anybody else. Like, everybody in here, I'm pretty sure had a mentor, right? Or has a mentor. Like, you look up to that mentor, you admire that mentor, but you don't try to mimic everything that mentor does. You just take some of his strengths or some of the things that he's taught you, and you apply it to your own style. With Matt Patricia tried to beat Bill Belichick. It did not work, right? You had a good, solid head coach in Jim Caldwell who was getting you to the playoffs. And, I often wonder with teams that sucked over the years and wasn't very good, how is it that you can come to a conclusion where the playoffs is not good enough for you? Like, seriously, how can you get to a point when the playoffs is not good enough for you? Like, especially when you have a history of absolutely no Like no success, right? Rebuilding since 1957. Talk about with the curse of Jimmy Ball, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I'm saying? With Jimmy, I think Sammy Ball. Excuse me, Sammy Ball. I think he said that the Lions aren't going to win a championship or something like that, and he put a curse on them or whatever because they traded him, I think, to the Steelers, if I'm not mistaken. So Sammy Ball was like, "Yeah, you're not going to win anything," and you know what I'm saying, like, because y'all traded me or whatever. So they haven't won a championship since 1957. And he called about the curse of Sammy Ball. But anyway, you got to have your own swag, man. You got to have your own. You got to have your own lane. You got to have your own lane, man. Farouk says Jameis is going to have y'all eating crow and W's next year. How is it that we're going to be eating crow? All I said was, if I had to choose out of Matthew Stafford and Jameis Winston, I'm going to roll with Matthew Stafford. And I make no apologies about that because Matthew Stafford has shown me that he can be a solid quarterback in the National Football League. Matthew Stafford has shown me with the right system that he can be one of the top quarterbacks in the National Football League. I'm not dismissing Jameis Winston. I'm not saying that Jameis Winston can't ball. I'm not saying Jameis Winston can correct some of the issues that plagued him throughout his career. But, I would choose Matthew Stafford over Jameis Winston, But if the Saints just so happen to say, hey, I think we got the right quarterback, system going. I think Jameis is the future. No need to look at Matthew Stafford. Then I believe in Jameis. But if I was running the organization and I had the opportunity, then I would have to say I would roll with Matthew Stafford. Okay. Look, like I said, this is about production. Okay. I mean, I know for a fact what Matthew Stafford can do. I'm only assuming that I know what Jameis Winston can do. But hey, Stafford is a great quarterback to have. When you have a bad defense with 31 comebacks in his career, number 7 all time. DeWine, that's a good point. And, I just feel like if you got yourself a solid defense, good running game, which the Saints are going to have, you put Matthew Stafford with that, man, you got yourself something. Now, all this is just wishful thinking. You know what I'm saying? The chances of the Saints getting Matthew Stafford is slim to none, but if they can move some things around, they can move and they can shake some things around. Please do. Chosen, thank you very much for the $4.99. He says every team has a leader. Sean Payton and the Saints, Andy Reid and the Chiefs, David Ruffin and what's their name? Yeah, man. Look, good point. I mean, everybody needs a leader. Everybody needs that one guy who can right the ship. And the Saints have it. They definitely have it with Sean Payton. Darrell says, what about Deshaun Watson? Too rich for my blood. Deshaun Watson, I mean, look, making over $100 million, you have to take on that contract. Nah, man, I can't do it. I wish this guy all the success. I feel so bad for him. Houston Texans organization, mistake after mistake, disappointment after disappointment. Feel bad for him, but man, I would hope that he lands somewhere where they appreciate him and he can go out there and go to a winning culture. But I don't know. I don't know. I think that's too rich for my blood. The best pass catcher Matthew Stafford had was Megatron for the most part. Yeah, I mean, but look, Marvin, Marvin Jones is really good. Golden Tate is really good. Like, do not poo-poo on the most underrated wide receiver in the National Football League in Kenny Golladay. People do not talk about Kenny Golladay is the modern day Marcus Colston. For all my Saints fans out there, Kenny Golladay is the modern day Marcus Colston. This guy is really, really good, really talented, And nobody talks about this guy. This guy's the best wide receiver nobody talks about. Him and Keenan Allen are like two of the most underrated wide receivers in football. So to say that Matthew Stafford ain't got no talent, you know what I'm saying, around him at the wide receiver position, I feel like, that's not true. Megatron is the standard, of course. I mean, because he was a freak of nature. We about 6'5", about 230, ran about a 4.2, 4.3. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, if we're comparing them to him, but those guys aren't no slouches, man. Marvin Jones is good. Kenny Golladay is really good. Golden Tate is a bruiser, somebody that I wish the Saints could have got at one time or another. You know, I would love to see Golden Tate as a Saint. That's somebody that I would love to see. That guy is tough as they come at wide receiver. I won't call him a poor man, but he reminds me a little bit of Steve Smith Sr., like how tough he is. Pete needs to restructure his contract. Yeah, you know, to $0 to get him up out of here. And they need to draft another guard. I don't know, man. I like Andrews Pete run blocking ability, but he's a little soft to me, man. Like, just absolutely 100% soft.
Because I said soft? Because I said soft, so what? I spell it. S-O-F-T. Soft.
Absolutely, man. Just straight up soft. You know, like, you can't be an offensive lineman and be that soft. You know, you can't. Pete made the Pro Bowl, so good luck with getting rid of him. Mario, look, I mean, I think we all can agree that the Pro Bowl is a bunch of nonsense. I mean, Devin White, for God's sake, the way that he single-handedly destroyed the Saints last week, didn't make the Pro Bowl. Demario Davis didn't make the Pro Bowl. Like, Pro Bowl is a joke. The fact that you would choose Andrews Pete over Ryan Ramczyk at Pro Bowl selections, like, man, please. What a joke. But I want to say thank you all very much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. Thank you all very much. Really do appreciate it. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com, search The State of the Saints podcast. And also facebook.com, search The State of the Saints podcast. Previous episodes available on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor FM. Please check out the other podcast, the State of the Game podcast. It's youtube.com, search The State of the Game. Check it out. Also, TJ Knows Wrestling Podcast, available for all my wrestling fans out there. That's also on YouTube, TJ Knows Wrestling. Twitter, at State of Saints. And also on Instagram, at TJ Jones _. Thank you all very much. Have a good day. Enjoy the AFC and NFC championship games. And like always, all I got to say is, who dat?